to Break the Bias, an online talk to commemorate International Women's Month, courtesy of RingCentral, the global leader in cloud communications. My name is Joelle Legazpi, and I'm the Global Communications Training Supervisor for RingCentral, and I will be your host for this afternoon's Tete-a-Tete. And if you're not an employee of RingCentral, do not worry. Today's event is open to anyone and everyone, and rightfully so, as we need our cooperation of the whole society to come up with long and lasting and real, tangible solutions to gender equality. Even in today's modern times, ladies and gentlemen, women still fall victim to stereotyping. There are still people who perceive women as soft, weak, incapable of performing certain tasks or jobs or engaging in certain hobbies or activities that are mostly done by different genders. This afternoon, we will look at this issue in the face and discuss fiercely how we can empower one another to break the bias on women. Leading the conversation is no other than or no less than a multi-hyphenated woman who has broken the bias by going against the grain in the recent Miss Universe Philippines pageant held just last year. Ladies and gentlemen, today we'll be joined by Miss Ayn Bernos. And aside from Ayn, we will also be hearing from a female colleague of mine who will be sharing her views about self-limiting beliefs and how she was able to surpass them. And of course, another member of our C-level execs from the RingCentral leadership team. We will also be joined today to discuss the importance of achieving diversity and gender equality in organizations, Mr. Joey Lianco. And as a bonus, we will be having a raffle at the end of the program where lucky attendees could win a Kayo Beauty lipstick set. But before we start with the program, let's get to know RingCentral first, the company behind today's event. Let's watch this video.
Welcome to RingCentral. Now you can tap into a simpler, faster way to communicate with your teams, customers, partners, and more. From a business phone to messaging, to video meetings with immersive collaboration features, it's never been easier to connect inside a single app. Let's talk about our world-class phone system. All your needs are met, from calling, SMS, and fax, to voicemail transcription, and so much more. It's a phone system designed for exactly the way you work. Set up your custom ringtone. Create custom call forwarding and handling rules. Create calling extensions. We can power every basic and advanced calling use case across your mobile and desktop. Plug it in to wherever you work. Connect effortlessly with anyone, even switching between your devices so you can be as mobile as possible. Now let's talk messaging. It's easy to chat one-on-one with colleagues and guests. All they need is an email address. Once they're in, you can share unlimited files, create tasks, send collaborative notes, and even install interactive apps. Next, you can run video meetings across mobile, desktop, and browser, giving everyone a flawless experience without downloading anything. Boost productivity with powerful AI-driven capabilities like live transcription, which catches up on everything that's been said in real time. Set your custom virtual background. Enjoy features like autofollow to easily stay in frame even when you move around. You can even switch devices in the RingCentral app and take your meeting from anywhere without skipping a beat. Also, check out the app gallery and start adding the tools you depend on from over 300 integrations. Plug in your business communications to all the places you work, and that's just scratching the surface. Learn more about how to get started and new features in the Resource Center, easily accessible right in the app. Connect with anyone, anywhere.
There you have it, folks. RingCentral, the global leader in cloud communications. We indeed bring everyone and everything together under the cloud. Whether it's an all-in-one cloud phone system with team messaging and video conferencing, or a complete contact center experience, and more, RingCentral builds cloud communication solutions for every business, no matter how big or small. And I myself am enjoying the application when I'm nursing my child as a woman and use the switch feature of the application. Indeed, RingCentral is made for culture of collaboration. And that's our topic today. Given that RingCentral supports inclusion, diversity, and equality, taking the time to celebrate women through this event is indeed part of the company's DNA. And that's why RingCentral goes to great lengths in discussing gender equality and women empowerment, such as the attention and care that went into their 2022 International Women's Month campaign video. Now let's watch this.
Maselan daw kami. Hindi sanay sa mahirap na gawain. Pero anumang bigat ng trabaho, kaya namin. Dahil babae kami. Tingin sa amin ay malamya. Mahinhin. Madaling umatras. Pero taglay namin ay lakas. Dahil babae kami. Teritoryo daw nila to. Panglalaking daigdig. Pero kaya din naming maging astig. Dahil babae kami. Mahina raw kami. Sunod-sunuran lamang. Puro puso. Pero ang totoo, kaya naming mamuno. Dahil babae kami. Sabi nila, di namin kayang ipagtanggol ang bayan. Pero handa kaming lumaban. Dahil babae kami. Kaya ano man ang aming gustuhin, kayang-kaya naming abutin. Dahil babae kami. Hamunin ang nakasanayan. Break the bias. RingCentral. Breaking the bias on women everywhere.
Like what the video said, ano man ang ating gustuhin, kaya nating abutin kasi babae kami. We women can definitely break the biases imposed on us by society. Hamunin natin ang nakasanayan. Let us continue to challenge the status quo. And this is what our special guest has definitely done in her life. For big pageant fans, her journey at the 2021 Miss Universe Philippines showed that anyone can stand a chance at bagging the crown despite only being 5'3". And a morena, a 4'11" myself, inspired by this person too. But there is more to her than her Filipino beauty, I know. She uses her voice to help women develop their self-confidence through Camp Confidence Radio. And she's also an entrepreneur, launching her own clothing line, Morena the Label, and makeup line, along with business partners, Kayo Beauty, which is specially formulated for Filipinas and our colors. Please give a virtual round of applause to the multifaceted, multi-hyphenated, and very talented Miss Ayn Bernos.
Hi, good afternoon, Ayn. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for having me in this afternoon's program. The topic of women empowerment is something really close to my heart, and I'm honored RingCentral invited me to this platform to share my advocacy.
Well, thank you so much, Ayn, for giving us this time. I know you invest your energy and your time in your businesses and a lot of good causes. But thank you for being with us today, and we're excited to hear your Break the Bias journey and your words of advice to us Filipinas and our allies. Wag nating kakalimutan yan. So let's start. Okay? Now,
Game.
for our audiences, pwede kayong mag-engage sa chat box. Don't forget, ha? That's the power of the virtual environment now. And of course, our product, RingCentral. This is our partner, Primetime Blue Jeans. So let's talk about your pageant journey first. You just finished top 30 in the 2021 Miss Universe Philippines. And some people thought that you broke the beauty queen mold. And I feel that too, because you stand only 5'3" and generated a lot of buzz for being a proud morena. What was your mindset like going into the competition, fully knowing that people will be extremely critical? Now, I know the color matters, the height matters, but the question and answer is a far different conversation. So tell us about your experience.
Thank you for that wonderful question, Shara. But honestly, for me, when I went into the pageant, it was about fulfilling my childhood dream. But once I started getting the comments about my height, my weight, my skin color, about all of those things, that's when I realized that I really had to do more and actually stay here in the competition. Because when I was putting myself out there, I was just thinking, this is just me for myself. But then I realized that because of the comments telling me that I didn't belong, it made me realize that people aren't used to seeing 5'3" beauty queens. People are not used to seeing the common Filipina. And that was more reason for me to push through, to power through. It's because I want people to see all of us as deserving.
Right. And, we talk a lot about how people were critical to you. But now I want to know if there were a couple of comments that brought about anything positive in this journey. Tell us about that.
Absolutely. It's super easy to focus on the negative, but throughout this journey, I have gotten so much support. And a lot of people saying me, my favorite thing is, I see myself in you. And for the first time, I felt represented in a major pageant. And that to me is just something that empowers me and makes me feel like what I do matters, showing up matters because of those people.
Right, and I like that you're taking, presence and showing up as a very important factor in inspiring other people. Because representation is really important, especially for women who are, as we know, largely marginalized in a lot of countries. But later on, we're going to talk about that. Now, I'm very interested on what were your key takeaways in the pageant.
So many key takeaways because every day was just a learning process. But if anything, it's that it's okay to be imperfect. It's okay to pursue your dreams openly in front of the public. It's okay to have, it's okay to be a work in progress while you're in front of everybody because oftentimes we don't allow ourselves to see the light until everything has been planned out, until tapos na lahat, everything is plakado. Nakarelate ka doon. Pero it's okay. Like being a work in progress, learning along the way is very much empowering. And it just shows people that you don't have to be perfect to try new things and in order to pursue big things.
Okay, so now this is not part of our conversations when we tried to look at this talk, right? But I just remembered how it's easy to talk about it's okay not to be perfect, mare, and all that. But there are people who matter to you but point out what is not beautiful about you, right? How do you manage and balance taking that in?
I think I always need to look at where the person is coming from. Like, are they coming from a place of constructive criticism? Do they want me to win? Do they want me to get better? That's always something that we need to look at, intention. But at the same time, we need to have the ability to separate people who have good intentions and bad intentions. And for me, I think that's something that I've practiced, and I've learned pretty well during the pageant journey. Now, I listen to people who care about me. And at the end of the day, they will give me honest feedback na pagka I really need to improve on this, then, of course, I will sit down and listen.
Okay. Now, alam ko pahirap yung tanong ko, pero magaling ka naman. So, try natin to. If the bad intentions come from other people, there will be days that you wake up that you have the worst self-talk. How do you manage that?
It always happens. I feel like a lot of people have this misconception that I'm just like confident and hindi ako nagsa-struggle with all of those things. But guys, that's not true. The reason why I talk about positivity and confidence so much is because I need the pep talk. I need the personal pep talk. And so instead of, dwelling on my self-doubt, I always ask myself, okay, how can I make this better? And I always focus on the action steps that I can do. I always focus on the things that I can improve. So for example, I'm having a really bad morning, a shower really helps. Sometimes it's as little as that, but I just allow myself to step out, zoom out of the picture. Sometimes I'd even turn my phone off.
Okay.
And just disconnect and see, okay, this is probably not that big of a deal. I need to breathe a little bit and allow myself to see that this is bigger than me.
Right. Well, thank you. You talked about turning your phone off. And how did you how would you manage naysayers on social media? Do you choose to, look at them and then just back off and protect yourself and your energy, or do you engage yourself in conversations and create a healthy discourse? What would be your choice?
It really is different on a case-to-case basis because some days it's good to be patola, but
Oh my
only
God.
but only when it's educational, of course.
Okay, sige.
At the end of the day, I am human, but I try to make the most out of every situation. So if I find that a comment online would be a good start to a healthy conversation about whatever it is, whatever issue it is, then I will take that opportunity to create content out of that will hopefully be helpful. But sometimes there are just comments that, are out of nowhere, just super harmful, super rude, and is just there to make you feel bad about yourself. In those situations, I try not to engage at all because, again, we have very limited energy and hindi talaga pwedeng gamitin natin doon sa mga bagay na yun. So,
Well, thank you. And that's a reminder to myself too. Now, can you recall a moment in your life where people underestimated you or your abilities or maybe your skill set too? And how do you react, or how did you manage that? How did you prove them wrong?
you know what? I love being underestimated.
True.
It's such a joy to be underestimated sometimes because of two reasons. Number one, you don't have like pressure because everybody is already expecting you to fail.
Right.
So for example, with the Miss Universe Philippines pageant, when I joined, I was known as a content creator, a TikToker, and most of the comments would say, "Bakit sumali yung TikToker na yan?" So the bar for me was like so low. People were not expecting me to do well. So
Right.
for me, that's like, okay, good. Then I can't do any worse. Kasi baba.
You can't go low.
Yeah, I
Don't
can't get
delay
lower than
yourself.
that. Pero at the same time, I love that when I get underestimated, I can show up and surprise people. And sometimes there is so much fulfillment in that because I get to work in secret, do the work, do my homework. Talaga mag-training ako in the background. Hindi nila alam na I was spending like so many days training, my pasarela, learning to walk on heels, learning how to do makeup. As in, sobrang daming behind the scenes na people don't get to see. Mas magugulat na lang sila. Hello, it's your girl, Ayn.
Well, thank you, Ayn. I'm gonna take your coaching on that. No, magandang nanggugulat tayo because
Yes.
as women, we all know that our skills are kind of surprising. Even I, for myself, I get surprised sometimes. If I hold a baby, I have a skill of picking things up using my left foot. Right?
Nagulat ka dun, ah.
Nagugulat tayo sa lahat ng skill sets natin. Now, but kidding aside, how do you deal with self-limiting doubts? Kanina na pag-usapan na natin to. And can you elaborate on that? And do you turn on to your support system for help? How do you do your self-talk na lang?
Yeah, I'm very, very privileged to have a good support system. And that's the reason why I even joined in the first place. It's the reason why I'm here in the first place. It's because whenever I would turn to my support system and shout out my big goals, I have the audacity to say, gusto ko sumali sa Miss Universe. Nobody really laughed at me. I mean, in my circle, in my support system, nobody looked at me and said na, ay, that's too big for you. Nobody said that. So ako, minsan, self-imposed yung limiting beliefs. And so whenever I have to handle those things, I try to fix my self-talk. Like, for example, diba, or whenever we fail at something, ay, di ko kaya. Instead of saying that, lagi kong dinadagdagan ng, di ko kaya sa ngayon. I can't do it yet. And it always, always helps because it just reframes my mindset and allows me to try again, to try a little harder, and acknowledge the fact that I'm human and I will continue to be a work in progress.
A lot of things to take away from that answer. Paano magre-recap yung host ng ganyan?
Sorry naman, madam.
Well, but my favorite part there, Ayn, is, surrounding yourself with the right people. At hindi siya madaling gawin, ha? Madali siyang sabihin. Pero sometimes you also get blinded by all these things that are bright in the beginning. But if you are confident yourself and you know exactly what you want, you filter out those people who wouldn't help you in the end. Ang galing. And you also created Camp Confidence Radio. I believe this is a podcast with the aim of promoting confidence and self-improvement. How can women build confidence within themselves to be able to go against the grain and break the bias in their lives?
I would say, again, a lot of tips from this podcast. So if you haven't listened to that, go listen to that. But one of my favorite things is following your curiosity. I think women should be encouraged to try things and, allow failing as well. Because sometimes we are so hard on ourselves as women na parang we are trying to prove something, and so kailangan if we try something na successful din tayo agad. But there is something so special about trying something and failing and trying again and failing and being just used to failing. Kasi pagka ganun ka, you allow yourself to take on so many stereotypically hindi pambabae things, and then some of those things you might succeed in, some of those you might fail at. Pero at the end of the day, you tried, and trying is a skill. Allowing
Right.
yourself to try is a skill. And so I would say that, like, follow whatever piques your curiosity and practice at failing para hindi ka na i-intimidate sa mga biases.
Correct. And, Brené Brown said that courage...
I love her. I love her.
Siyempre, babae. Babae kasi, right? Well, she said that courage and fear go together. If you do not have the fear of failing, you would be able to develop courage yourself.
Yes.
And thank you for reiterating that. And again, reminders to everybody who listens today, dapat subukan. Because Michael Jordan said it, and please don't quote me on this. Hindi ko memorize. Sabi yun ng boss ko one time. Sabi niya, the shots you never took did not count. Ewan ko.
Gets ko yung sinabi mo
Pero
doon.
sana...
Naiintindihan ko.
Oo, direct paki-prompt. Oo. Pero bahala na kayo dyan. I-google nyo na. Well, early this year, I know, going back to our topic, you confronted a health issue. Now, on a more serious note, what was it like to finally take charge of your health and decide to get breast surgery? And before you answer, no, taking charge of your health is not just getting the surgery or the checkup that's long overdue. Taking charge of your health partly is, having the right meals or drinking 8 glasses of water a day. Reminder to self.
Hydrate.
Correct.
Well, to begin with, I guess for our listeners, our viewers who are not familiar with the background, when she says breast surgery, I actually got my cysts removed kasi we wanted to check for cancer, ganyan. Thankfully, benign naman sila. But then this was like 6, 7 years in the making kasi I learned this in my early 20s na I had cysts. Tapos ang dami nila. And then I didn't do anything about it. Kasi una, takot ako. I was scared of the diagnosis. I was scared of what it would entail, what it would mean for the rest of my life. I didn't want to know because I thought na baka ibig sabihin mag-stop career ko. I just I forgot about it completely. But then this year, I decided now, okay, it's time for me to take charge of my health, to prioritize myself, because part of empowering myself to be able to do things also means facing the things that we're scared of. And for me, I was really scared of that result. I didn't know what it would turn out like. Tapos yun pala, okay naman pala lahat. Pinatagal ko ng how many years. So okay naman pala. So at least now I have peace of mind, and it really taught me a valuable lesson na more than just go, 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 hustle culture, prove yourself and everybody else wrong, ganyan. It's also a matter of taking a step back and seeing how can I take care of myself while at the same time pursuing my dreams. Paano mo pursue ang dreams mo kung ang body mo, di ba, ay hirap
If the
na.
flesh is weak.
Yes, exactly. So there.
Thank you. And it matters that we're prepared for anything in the future. So anything that may block you right now, you have to face it. No, to the women watching us today. So you're also on top of your multifaceted social media. Meron kang platforms like YouTube, TikTok, your Camp Confidence Radio podcast, your clothing line Morena the Label, which I am a big fan of. Naku, ang dami kong pictures.
Customer kita, di ba?
Oo. Nag-return ako sa'yo ng large. Pero parang ibabalik ko na ngayon. Ngayong after 7 weeks postpartum. Pero ang dami kong in-order na pakita ka ng picture mamaya. You also own a makeup line especially made for Filipino colors, the Caillou Beauty, right? Now, what else would you like to achieve in the next 5 years?
Grabe, when you recount it like that, I'm like, oh my gosh, paano kayong ginagawa? I'm like, I'm tired just thinking about all of those. But honestly, there is always more. And for me, it's just, we have one lifetime. I really want to, hindi naman for the sake of maximizing and just ticking things off the bucket list. It's not about that. It's all about allowing myself to see what else am I capable of. And honestly, the next thing, hopefully I can do in the next 5 years, I really want to pursue my dream of becoming a published author. Because before everything else, I was always a writer. Yun talaga yung trabaho ko, even in corporate. I was always a writer as a kid. Pero, ayun, napangunahan na nga siya ng TikTok, ng t-shirt business, makeup line. Nahuli na yung dream ko na yun. But hopefully one day that will come to life and I'll see my words on paper.
Well, I wish you luck, but that's just 2% of what women do. 98 is great work talaga.
Yes.
Yeah, talking about this is already taking a lot of energy, right, from all of us. What do you think we Filipinas naman should do more of to break the bias, so to speak? And what do you think Filipinas should do less of in order for them to break the bias?
I would say we need to assert ourselves more, as in talagang when we are faced in with situations na people tend to either underestimate us or tend to take away our voice, we need to assert ourselves. Like talagang tell people now what we have to say has value. At the same time, the thing we have to do less of is tolerate, people belittling us. And I've experienced those things in many different areas and different forms, pero talagang it's something else when you stand up for yourself and stand your ground whenever they joke about, women in general. Like if you hear something misogynistic, you can, sit down and be like, what's so funny about that? I love doing that. Every time I get to look somebody in the eye. Ayan.
sasabihin,
Camera,
oo.
diba?
Ifo-focus ka direct. Paano mo,
Camera
kailangan
to.
maturo natin to sa audience. May bad joke.
May bad joke.
Oo.
Uupo lang ako like this. Yeah? What's so funny about that?
Oh.
No, you can explain it.
Right.
Tapos hindi na sila makakasagot.
Oo.
Because, sometimes it's just so ingrained in our society that people don't think twice about it.
And people laugh at the joke.
Yeah.
When a bad joke comes out in a boardroom,
Yeah.
people get to laugh at it. Even women laugh at it and you can't blame them because we are highly patriarchal and those jokes look like they're, normal. Right.
Yeah, but if you call them out, they tend to think about it and it's like,
Meron pa ako isa, turo naman sa akin ng team member ko. If there's a bad joke about gender in a conversation, you look them in the eye, tapos you pretend you didn't hear it.
Wow.
Diba? Sorry, what? Can you say that again?
Can you?
Oo. Kunyari hindi mo narinig. Ngayon, when they say the joke again, they kind of step back and reflect that, oops, that was kind of bad. So, mga takeaways natin
Gamitin nyo
today.
yan.
What can the community do naman to become allies of women? And how do you think society can help women break the biases placed on them?
I think on a societal level, syempre on a grander scale, it's all about legislation, like making sure that walang naiiwan. Because oftentimes, yes, of course, like we're making progress on social media. There's representation for women sa pageantry. There's representation sa corporate. But then what about the others, diba? Like there are women who are victimized at home, domestic abuse, ganyan. So how do we address those things? So we continue the work outside of just like the entertainment industry, the media industry. We have to make sure that there are laws that protect women outside of, what's seen. Kasi ang dami pa rin behind the scenes that women actually really suffer.
And that's a really heavy conversation to have, especially when we began working home.
Yes.
Nung mga nag-lockdown. And this is not just women, but people in general. You don't have a choice but to stay home. But what if you have, I'm sorry to say, quite an abusive environment, right? And regardless of your gender, that's something we have to look at as well. Pero doble ang kayod ng mga kababaihan dahil hindi lang abuso ang pwede nilang harapin sa bahay. And when I say abuse, not physical, but also mental and emotional abuse, meron din silang trabahong inaasahang gawin nila sa tahanan. So doble-doble ang effort nating lahat. And Ayn, thank you so much for, reiterating that today. Well, thank you very much for your authenticity. And I really appreciate candor. Nako, mas magandang chikahan kapag 2 hours na tong conversation next
podcast
time.
yarn.
So I am sure that your story and your storytelling journey serves as an inspiration for many women out there. So if you have questions for Ayn, please put them or type them in the chat box. We will read that later. We will be announcing that and we will have a Q&A session.
Yay.
Well, we are also inviting you to join Ayn and other women all over the world to join the I Am Woman Challenge on Instagram and TikTok. All you have to do is upload on TikTok and IG Reels a 15-second video on how you broke the bias in your life to the song I Am Woman. Now put a creative caption and add the hashtags Break the Bias, that's on screen, RingCentral, hashtag RingCentral IWD, hashtag RingCentral Careers PH, hashtag I Am Woman Challenge PH, and you have to tag at RingCentral Careers and 5 of your friends. Make sure that your account is also public. And the contest ends on March 31, 2022, 10 p.m. You still have time to do some more makeup para ganito, charing. Chosen entries will win a set of Kayo Beauty lipsticks, and for full contest details and mechanics, nandyan yan sa screen or sa chat box. Well, to show us how it's done, here on screen is Ayn's own version of her I Am Woman Challenge.
I am woman, I am fearless, I am sexy, I'm divine, I'm unbeatable, I'm creative, honey, you can get in line. I am feminine, I am masculine, I am anything I
babae kasi. Yan. That's how you would like to positively phrase that, no? Well, together, let's show the world how multifaceted we are as women. Ayn and RingCentral are very much excited to see your entries. You can also take home a lipstick set from Kayo Beauty in our raffle draw later on in this program. So stick around for that. And to the allies, our LGBT friends or our men in the house, kapag kayo ang nanalo ng Kayo lipstick, maraming gusto ng ganyang regalo. Let's now move on to conversations closer to home, featuring a female leader at RingCentral who broke the bias in her own life. Also, here with us is a member of RingCentral's top leadership who will give us their perspectives of how important, and this is very serious, how important empowering women is in the workplace. Please welcome, ladies and gentlemen, the senior manager from Partner Sales Department, Miss Shane Sulit Concepcion. Hi, Shane.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for inviting me here to share my Break the Bias journey.
Oh, excited to hear more about that journey later, no, Shane? Also, we have today our Associate Vice President for Customer Experience, Bosko to. Kaya palakpakan nyo ng masigasig sa chatbox, Mr. Joey Liangco.
Hey, Joel. Hey, good afternoon, everyone.
Hi, Shane. Hi, Sir Joey. How are you today? And we're glad that you can join us and share your thoughts this afternoon, no? So,
Very
Shane.
excited to be here. It's actually my first time to attend this type of discussion. So I hope you guys would learn from me and mag-make sense yung mga i-share ko.
Correct. Marami. I'm very sure of that. Sir Joey?
Yes, good afternoon, everyone. We at RingCentral are glad that you could join us in today's program.
Well, let's get the ball rolling. Ito, alam ng mga tao sa RingCentral na favorite ko yung mga ganitong tanong. So, Shane, you were 19 years old when you first joined RingCentral daw. As your career progressed in the company, were there any circumstances that made you feel limited in terms of delivering your tasks, given that this was the first tech company that you joined? Especially male-dominated ang tech industry. If so, did you overcome it?
Yes, I wouldn't say I had doubt on myself if I'm able to do the task. So when I joined RingCentral, yun nga, I was very young. So sinasabi ko nga sa sarili ko, the only thing I had back then was confidence. Confidence, great passion. So, how did I overcome yung challenge na it's my first tech industry, tas I'm not familiar with the product? I was forced to be resourceful. Well, that's the only way. You know, I have to help myself. I have to seek help from my bosses, from my teammates. So there were questions in my head kasi I wanna do the job right. I wanna be on the company. I wanna get paid. So sabi ko, how will I sell the product? How will people buy from me? So I seek help from my teammates, from my bosses. And that's also what's important, no? Especially at a workplace, that you have a supportive superiors, teammates. So that's what helped me to reach the level where I'm at. So I got promoted every year, and I cannot do it alone. So I have to thank the people who helped me get there. So you're also lucky kasi, diba, Sir Joey? Oh, very supportive.
Correct. Pero take away ko yung promoted every year, ha? Gusto ko yon. Oo, gusto rin ni Sir Joey yon.
Yes.
Nako, Sir Joey, RingCentral has been recognized for championing diversity in the workplace. Why is it important for the company, or to any company for that matter, or to, why does RingCentral have to go to great lengths to prove that, or creating massive campaigns like this one, the International Women's Month? And why is it important that we celebrate women on a daily basis, even at work?
Yes, thanks, Joel. So RingCentral was ranked #1 in Comparably's Best Companies for Diversity in 2020, and we were given the same recognition the following year. Since the beginning of our partnership with Acquire BPO 12 years ago, we've been very vocal and bold about diversity.
Totoo ang
Yes,
mga
of course.
premyo.
And 25% of our executive team are women. All of our Manila senior sales leaders are women. And overall, female to ratio of our company is around 4.5 to 5.5. So it's close to 50-50.
Exactly. Sir Joey, masingit ko lang, no? Sabi mo, puro mga babae ang leaders natin. Gano'ng kasaya at kagulo ang mga meetings mo niyan?
Sobrang saya at gulo. Pero overall, I think we all belong to the same family. So we value each other's thoughts or feedback. So I think for me, it's good. No?
Oo. And?
Yes, and we go to this lens of celebrating this because different researches show that diverse and inclusive work environment builds a passionate and engaged company culture. And this is also the same practice that we wish the telco and IT industries that we belong to continue to strive for. And this campaign captures that and enables us to share the story to everyone.
Ang ganda. At narinig niyo yun, puro numero. Ganun magtrabaho yan si Boss Joey. And I want to emphasize, no, ladies and gentlemen, about high 4%, like 40%, 45% yata, if I'm quoting it wrong. 46 to be exact, ang women. So a lot of companies would talk about equal. We strive for equality here. Pero pagtingin mo ng numero, 20% ang mga kababaihan. Here at RingCentral, 100% ng sales senior executives namin, babae. Tapos, 46% ng tech hires namin, highly tech-oriented company, babae. Maraming salamat, Sir Joey, no? And can you recall naman, ikaw naman, Shane, a moment in the workplace when you felt empowered as a woman? Dami natin.
Yes. So many examples. Actually, clarify ko lang sabi ko, promoted every year. Baka sabihin nila, mas mataas naman siya kay Joey. Hindi, sales rep rank lang yon. So level 1, level 2, level 3, and 4. So before ko i-share yung parang most precious moment where at the workplace where I felt empowered. After 4 years kasi sa sales individual contributor, I joined a different sales division sa RingCentral. It's channel sales. So I was a channel manager. I was working with mga IT companies na resellers and distributors na ng RingCentral. So it's sa US, it's a male-dominated industry pag sinabing channel sales. So ako yung channel manager based in Manila, meron sa US. Lahat ng channel managers doon, well, hindi naman lahat, mostly men. So the moment that I would always cherish that made me feel empowered was when I got invited to attend our annual leadership summit in Denver, Colorado. And I received an award. So when I got invited, it was just me and my boss. So when I went up on stage, so lahat ng channel managers nandun. I'm sharing this not because parang I'm bragging, but because, they recognize that a channel manager based in the Philippines can deliver this performance, 'di ba? And the channel partners in the US trust her. So yon, I will always cherish that. And then i-share ko lang din right now, I'm leading a team, 90% men. So hindi ko sinasabing perfect, pero we focus on the advantages of working with them. And naman sila, we have a good working relationship. So there are things that I want them to consider, let's say when it comes to strategies. So sila din, but as women, we have to be open to, diba? If they are suggesting strategies, why don't we try this naman? So ganun. Gusto ko lang i-share na we have a good relationship. And I feel empowered kasi when I'm able to influence them, so they go to me. Ito yung favorite line ko, kasi may favorite line si kanina, yun eh. Pag sinabi ng reps ko na, pag minsan sila na yung nag-mentor sa mga bago, ganito, pag may di ka alam, aralin mo muna before ka magtanong. Pag hindi mo na talaga mahanap yung sagot, ask mo ko. Pag hindi ko alam yung sagot, ask natin si Shane. Ganun. So parang ako, nafe-feel ko, na-empower ko naman sila to make decisions, to do their own research. May liberty. They are okay to to fail or to make mistakes. So it's okay to make mistakes. So that's those are the things that I would consider memorable to me. And this one, kasi nasa bucket list ko to ngayong 2022.
Check!
Sabi ko, ano bang gusto kong gawin at ma-challenge ako? Kasi dream ko to public speaking ma-improve yon. Hindi naman to talk to a big audience, no? Pero eto, mas okay to kasi hindi ko nakakita sila. Baka... So thank you,
Baka
Ring
mas madali.
Central, for inviting me here.
Well, thank you so much, Shane. And true, we're taking away a lot of things from you, especially how you empower or encourage asking questions. Very nurturing ang mga babae, no? Very teaching yung orientation talaga natin. At ang sarap din makinig. Thank you so much, Shane. Kaya ka siguro napopromote on an annual basis. Sorry. Well, what about you? Ikaw naman, Ayn. What activities in your day-to-day where you feel really empowered naman as a woman?
Can I just say, I was so, gusto mag-take notes from Miss Shane because now that I am learning, as a CEO now, as a leader now, I am trying to learn the art of delegation, ganyan. Tapos gustong-gusto ko yung sinabi mo na, okay, figure out mo muna, and then kapag kailangan mo pa rin ng tanong, then we ask Miss Shane, ganyan. Ang saya nun. Take mental notes. But okay, going back to the question, what empowers me on a day-to-day basis, like daily activities? I think it's being in a position to build a team, to empower a team, and to have actual impact, tangible impact in their lives. I think it's so, to me, empowering. Kasi before, I was in a place as a solo entrepreneur, freelancer, raketera, alam mo yan. I was just, I felt helpless kasi whenever something would happen, like, yung may calamities, ganyan, I would feel helpless na parang, I can't give much, I can't do much because I was, also trying to fend for myself. Pero now that I am a leader myself, I am able to take care of my people. As a princess, charot. Parang, my people. but I feel like I can now make decisions that will benefit others, especially those who are directly working with me. And I just feel empowered by that. I know it's also a responsibility, but it makes me want to, really own my title, my responsibilities, because it's actual buhay ng tao.
Right. And you mentioned you want to learn more about art of delegation. Dito ka sa next person magtanong.
Hello po.
Nako, si Sir Joey, he doesn't just look out for people. Ako, this is my personal thoughts on working with him. No, he just doesn't look out for people with certain skill sets and what, he looks out for experience as well. Mas importante sa mga boss namin sa RingCentral, specifically si Sir Joey, na you're doing your job good, but how do you feel about doing it while doing it, right? So, now that we're talking about you, Sir Joey, I want to hear more and be proud of what particular policies or incentives do we have in RingCentral that are empowering women.
So we have two key policies that we are implementing right now. So number one, so we have the expanded maternity leave, which already covers 105 days of maternity leave. And number two, the Magna Carta for Women, which covers special paid leaves equivalent to 2 months, right? So aside from this, we have global wellness programs curated for our women employees. So we have partnered with Headspace, TaskHuman,
Right.
Workplace, Options, and Will to provide different activities like self-appreciation, childbirth, motherhood, self-confidence, women emotional well-being, and reproductive health consults.
Right.
So we also have special resources and assistance for our mothers who have children with special needs. And almost all of these sessions are also with women coaches and speakers.
Thank you so much, Sir Joey. Totoo yan. Personally, I have tried Headspace. I have a premium account sponsored by my company. Ganun. Kasi,
Sana all.
Oo, pati
Ako
task you
nagbabayad
man,
ako eh.
Shaka, nagbabayad ka. Task you, ako hindi. Pati yung healthcare coverage ko. No, Sir Joey didn't also mention that we have expanded healthcare na pati ang unmarried spouse, ang unmarried couples, kasi usually sa corporate, ganun kasi ay, dapat married kayo to get a health coverage, no, Sir Joey, Shane. But here, recently, RingCentral just approved common law partners. You don't have to get married. It's your choice. And
It's
you still
amazing.
get covered. And not only that, pati yung children, number of kids covered, expanded na rin. that's because we're highly grounded with the needs of women. Alam natin ang kailangan at nakikinig tayo sa kailangan. So, what is your advice naman, Shane? Given all the list of the things that we offer na, lahat ng hinaain natin sa kumpanya. Now, what would be your advice naman on how we can break the bias in the workplace?
Siguro for me, by the way, I'm not motivational speaker. Pero, siguro for me, let's challenge the bias, 'di ba? Like for example, kunyari they say, you can't do this task kasi panglalaki to. Ano ba yung mga examples sa mga
Handling executive escalation.
handling executive escalations. Actually, sinabi ni Ayn kanina to, yung even the smallest things, we can recognize na we're breaking the bias. I'll give an example ha. For example, if I order online, furniture, hindi naman yung OA nakalaki, pero for example, ganyan. There was a time na dineliver siya, tapos na-challenge ako. Sabi ko, gusto ko assemblein ko to mag-isa. Mahirap yun mas complicated pa kaysa dito. So, I built it myself without asking help from my husband. Kasi parang sabi ko, hindi, kaya ko to. So, nagawa ko siya. Gumaganon-ganon nga lang. Hindi, parang pag nakakita ko siya, parang kaya ko naman pala. Parang you don't need to seek help from him. Kasi yun nga, there are things na we can do na feeling natin, baka tayo pa mismo baka hindi natin kaya. So yun, challenge the bias. At workplace naman, I'm sure we have a purpose, di ba? We have our own whys. Bakit yun yung career, yun yung job na in-apply natin. So let's always remind ourselves our whys, ba't tayo nandito. Show up to work, do the work, be confident, and yung results naman will follow. Ang results pag tiningnan, hindi titingnan ng gender, 'di ba? Ang results ang titingnan. 'Di ba?
Correct.
So it won't let's not let others limit what we think we can do. And workplace for me won't define us. It's how well we live our life on earth. And I.
Ituloy mo! That's your bucket list. Go, one more
Panindigan mo
time.
na.
Oo.
Workplace won't define you. It's how well you live your life on earth. And I. Thank you.
Gusto ko niyan. Check na ba?
Check na check.
Okay.
Check na
Uy,
check.
thank you so much. That's very wise for you to say, no? Ang ganda nung sinabi niya, numbers won't look at gender. And that is true. Alam nyo yan, ng lahat ng nagtatrabaho, you would know that. And ikaw, what about you, Ayn? What is your advice to women on how they can break the bias in the workplace?
As somebody who transitioned from corporate to now, having my own, by the way, can I just say, like, learning about all the policies at RingCentral makes me, like, goals. I want to build a company like yours, guys. Ang galing. Anyway.
Akala ko mag-join na siya.
Wait lang, guys. Tatry ko muna. Pagka nag-fail, punta ako sa inyo. Pero, that being said, I think, we need to assert ourselves in the workplace and just allow ourselves to see, may sarili din tayong biases. Like, we also have our own biases. And we need to unlearn those. Na parang, okay, so I'm a woman, so maybe I should just stick to sales, mga ganun. Or like, maybe I'm a woman because I should stick to, may mga ganong stereotypes. And maybe just expand it a little further, take a step back. What if I can do more, di ba? Ito, public speaker ka na ngayon, Miss Shane. Di ba? Di ba? You never know.
Right.
So, like, take a step back and allow yourself to see, okay, what else can I do? What's holding me back? Should I do it? Maybe I will. Okay, done. Ganun.
Right. Iba yung sa trabaho ko kasi nagtuturo ako ng models eh. Should I do it? Will I do it? Can I do it? Iba-iba ang self-talk natin. Thank you so much, Ayn. Also, just a proof to the two of you here today. Ang Philippines, hindi tayo masyadong challenged in terms of the ratio of women and men in the corporate world. Actually, mataas tayo ang ranking natin sa Asia Pacific according to UN Women. But of course, that is only talking about the corporate industry. We have to also look at our family and friends who are part of the blue-collar industry. Mas marami ang babaeng walang trabaho sa laylayan. Kasi maraming trabahong nasa field na always biased to men. Na magugulat ka, noon ang Uber, before ang Uber, nagkaka-driver sila na babae. No?
Yeah.
At nagugulat ako, that part is unconscious bias as well.
Yes.
Sa akin yon. And ngayon, bihira ka makakita ng babaeng driver and sometimes nafi-feature pa yan sa kung saang talk show because it's uncommon. And what we want to do is to challenge that bias, no? Make it natural. Pag nag-deliver ka ng furniture kila Shane, wag mo agad i-assume na hindi niya kayang buuin. Kaya niyang buuin, pero uuga. Okay? Pero hindi yun dahil babae siya. Dahil sa entry-level skills niya yun. Correct. But, of course, going to a more serious note, Sir Joey naman, what other programs are you keen on introducing so that women can feel empowered or avoid biases in the first place?
Yeah, ever since naman, we've been thinking of how we can improve our company, no? So we will continue to provide support and benefits to our women employees and even applicants. To give you a specific example, our two new offices are now equipped with lactation room, right? As the pandemic alert level eases down, we look forward to different face-to-face and virtual events designed for women employees. We have our employee engagement team and our very own employee-led culture council spearheading these exciting events. Right? And another concrete example of our commitment is to hire more women, fresh hires.
Right.
In fact, our Ringternship program, which has an ongoing hire for summer interns, has produced 50-50 female to male ratio. So even step higher than our company-wide ratio. And we commit to explore more women-inclusive program in the future.
Yan ang totoong equality, okay? Magkaiba yon. So equality goes in with the people you hire. But equity is another challenge that RingCentral is doing great at. You know, empowering women and enabling them. You know, getting that ladder to women as well na magagaling sa tech. Ang dami kong narinig na mahusay mag-executive escalations ng mga babae. Well, thank you so much for all your insights. Also, ang pinagbabalaki ni Sir Joey kanina na maternity leave, ako ang unang may benepisyo niyan ngayon. Di ba? Maraming salamat. And, you know, kaya ako nakakapag-gig. kasi nandito tayo at may attention tayo sa babae. Well, thank you so much, Shane, Ayn, and Sir Joey. We now open the floor to your questions. Should you have any questions, please type them in the chat box. And let's now go on some questions na sinend kanina kala direct. Okay? For Ayn and Shane muna. Shane, how do you address people who still believe that women cannot be in the leadership position or engage in a work or tasks that were traditionally male-dominated? What would be your best response to them?
For me, I will address them by citing examples of women who thrive and became successful in the leadership role. So, hindi na ako lalayo sa channel sales division pa lang sa Manila. 6 managers, 6 teams, tapos doon, 4 out of 6, puro female. Yes, female leaders here sa Manila. So, it's not about the gender. When assessing someone, if they are fit for the leadership role, Joel, di ba, focus on the skills, di ba? So that we can be objective na this person is fit for the role and can do coaching, di ba? Or if this person is applying for a trainer role, o ano ba yung niya, coaching skills niya, communication skills. So ganon, so that wag tayong mag-judge base sa sa gender or sa color or sa race. Ganyan. And ayun, I'm proud to say na totoo po yung mga nasa-share ni Sir Joey and ni Joel na we have a good ratio of sales leaders sa Manila. Close to 50 ba? 50%.
Right. Not only in sales, but in tech, the hires.
Yes.
Correct. Nasa 46 ata tayo. Thank you so much, Shane. Ayn, I would like to hear you too.
Yeah, just like Miss Shane said, citing examples, pero sometimes medyo wala akong patience. As ako parang I'm tired of explaining na I'm capable. I'm tired of explaining to people na kaya ko to gawin. So instead, you know what? For me personally, because I'm in that position na, yun nga, as a freelancer, raketera, solo, ganyan. I'm an independent worker, basically. And for me, I try not to address those na lang. Like, I'd rather show them because I can. And again, the results will speak for itself.
Right.
So just watch me.
And we are live. No?
Yes. Hello.
Well, also, yung kayo kanina pa kayo nag-highlight ng results. I remember before I went on maternity leave. Kasi I gave birth I was still on shift when
Iba ka.
when my baby was to pop. I was still on shift. And that was because my boss allowed me to still work. Kahit, the bias there is other people would say na, hindi mo na to kaya. You might be emotional at this point because I also am in the industry of teaching and coaching. So maraming taong nagsasabi na, mag-step back ka because you are expected to be emotional as a pregnant woman. And my boss did not do that to me. Okay? He allowed me to do whatever I did kahit feeling niya, dapat niya na akong pigilan. It's our choice as women. And ayun, nag-do ako. Galing akong shift. So, yung afternoon kasi namin, yun ang sleep time ng trabaho namin, ng US shift. Ayun, yun na siya, yung baby ko, nung after shift.
What an
After shift
empowering.
baby.
Oo,
Correct.
After shift baby.
Oo.
Napaka-empowering ng paglabas niya sa mundo.
Alright, sige. Parang magbabasa tayo ng questions. Okay? Yan. What can you say about women who criticize other women? Sometimes the women empower women mantra is selective and taken the wrong way. How can you possibly approach this scenario? I'm gonna give you 5 seconds to think about that. Sige. Who would like to lead this conversation? Yung meron kang ibang understanding. May mga babae din at mga allies tayo na iba ang understanding sa women empowering women. Ayn, would you like to lead?
I guess in the field of social media, we see this a lot. A lot of women have different opinions, different levels of conservativeness, ganyan. Tapos sometimes it's always the conversation is very chaotic. Sometimes it's like, okay, don't wear that kasi mababastos ka. We're only thinking about your well-being. But at the same time, sometimes people would say na, no, wear what you want. Like, it's empowering. So it's very, very nuanced, that discussion. But I think at the end of the day, we need to empower women to be able to make choices. And we should support those choices, lalo na kung wala namang naaapakan. Kung wala naman tayong nasisira na relationships, wala naman tayong nasisira na apakan tao, but with our choices, I think we should allow women to simply be. Kasi there is something empowering about, making a stand, choosing things.
Right.
And if we do make mistakes, that's on us.
Right.
That experience is ours,
Okay.
and owning that is empowering.
Okay. So, I liked also that the question began at, what can you say to women? Anong masasabi mo sa mga babaeng sila rin ang may bias sa babae?
Alam mo, I've been thinking about that question and I wasn't sure kung pwede ko siya actually i-share dito nung when we were, doing the rehearsal. Siguro ang example sa akin para dyan is, for example, may affair, di ba? Sino laging ginajudge? Yung babae, para, ayan, yung third party itong babae. So yung nagja-judge din naman yung sa social media nga, yung uma-attack din sa babae, is mga babae din.
Third party.
So parang,
Kinabahan ako. Anong issue to?
So paano?
Hindi ka
di
updated
ba? Pag
na
may,
Bakit pa ba to?
pag may mga third party, ano daw ang third party, parang...
change screen na tayo. Iba na ang issue na pinagtutuon na siya rin.
Diba?
Oo.
Tayo din yung umaano sa mga babae, tayo mga babae rin pinaka-active sa comments, sa bashing,
Okay.
and everything. Ako, it happened to me, ha. Bigay lang ako ng example. Yung ex-boyfriend ko to, may nagsabi sa akin na friend, hoy friend, si ex-boyfriend mo, nakita daw na may kausap na girl. Si girl na yon medyo flirty. So, di ba usual reaction, ewan ko ba, pero usual reaction, oh my God, susugurin ko si ate girl, ganyan. Alam mo, ginawa ko, kasi nasa isip ko yan, women, empower women, keme. Sabi ko, chinat ko yung girl. Sabi ko, hi, this is Shane, ako yung girlfriend ni ganito. May nagsabi sa akin ganito, totoo ba? Para ganun lang, polite, lang. And if she tells me the right, the truth, okay. Pag hindi, carry lang din. Nasa akin naman kung tanggapin ko. Sabi niya, alam niyo po, ang dami nagchichismis sa akin na ganyan na ako, pero hindi po totoo yun. Hindi kami nagkita, ganyan. So,
Nag-chika na tayo dito.
so ibig sabihin, di ba, huwag ka naman
Correct.
judge. Give the benefit of the doubt.
Alright.
And ang nangyari, naging husband ko siya. So, that's how I decipher that question na minsan kasi tayo pa yung nagkikriticize sa mga kapwa natin babae instead of,
As simple
learn
as, I think as simple as us women looking out to an example would be a Miss Universe pageant.
Yep.
And how do we deal with that? Diba? Nanonood ako ngayon kay Ayn Bernos, and what do I say in my mind? Right? And am I doing enough kapag sinabi natin sa Facebook or kahit sa ang platform na we should empower women? We step back. How do we think about women when we are quiet? Diba? Pagka tahimik ang mundo, pag walang social media, do we look out for women as well? Or hanggang share na lang tayo ng mga sabi-sabi as women on women? Okay?
Love
Ayn,
that.
Sir Joey, would you like to add anything?
Well, siguro ako, babalik lang ako doon sa golden rule, right? I mean, it's in general. Yeah, you do to others what you want others to do unto you, right? And sometimes it's all about respect, right? May kanya-kanya tayong paniniwala eh. Ang importante is we respect each other. And at the end of the day, we should all be good mamamayans, right?
Correct.
And we should be good altogether.
Oo, ang first step ay listening muna. Listening and understanding. Thank you so much, Sir Joey, for your insights. And meron pa tayong ibang mga tanong. Okay, ang haba. Question for Ayn, specific sa'yo I'll be competing in my first pageant next month. Excited ako. And I'm anxious about many things. What if I embarrass myself? Or what if I do something wrong, etc.? What can you advise first-timers like me? How can I overcome stage fright and just go out there and be as confident as you are? 7 questions yan, 500 each.
Oh
Go.
my gosh. Jana. Hi, Jana. Thank you so much for sending in that question. Okay, I think another misconception when I was a first-timer sa pageantry, I was confident. Pero I was like nervous every day. I woke up every single day convincing myself na belong ako dito, deserve ko maging andito. Yes, it was really, really difficult. And I think it's okay for first time, actually anybody. Kahit na veterano na, usually nahihirapan pa rin. So just understand na you are not alone in feeling that way. But other than that, enjoy being a first-timer because being a first-timer just means na you are brave enough to venture into something that's outside your comfort zone, and that is something that you should applaud yourself for. So palakpakan mo sarili
Correct.
mo. Like,
Oo.
you did that, di ba?
Go, Jana.
Go,
We're rooting
Jana
for
talaga.
you. Okay, galingan mo ang self-talk. Doon ka magsimula.
Oo. And I guess on a more technical perspective, surround yourself with people, especially sa team mo, hair and makeup. Hello, shout out po dun sa mga likod. Hello, hair and makeup team, ganyan. Yung mga for your photos, everybody. Ayan, make sure that the people surrounding you are also people who believe in you and empower you. Kasi ang labanan sa pageantry, it's really confidence. And you
Mental
get
siya, no?
Oh, mental talaga siya. Sobrang mental niya. And you get it also externally from people who will support you. Like, yes, meron tayong self-confidence, pero may hangganan din yan. Tao lang tayo. We need to depend on other people. So,
Right.
allow yourself to depend sometimes.
Thank you, Ayn. Okay, meron pa. Next question. What is your message to the young women out there who are in their early stage of their career? Ay, very personal to sa akin. Trying to push for a breakthrough. I like that. Question from Ruru. Hi, Ruru!
Shout out naman. Hi, Ruru!
Alam mo, taga-subaybay talaga natin si Ruru kahit kailan, kahit anong oras. Who would like to take that first? Kasi I would also like to share my thoughts.
Starting young, ito.
Ay,
Si
oo,
Miss
19.
Sheila.
19.
Sige, Sir Joey. I'll follow Sir Joey. Go.
Sa young women daw, anong masasabi mo?
Early
Looking
stage
out
of
for a
their-
breakthrough.
For me, it is important that you understand where your motivations are coming from, right? Importante yung you know who you are working for, right? Para kanino, right? Para sa anong bagay or para sa kaninong pamilya, family members, right? Doon magsisimula lahat eh. And once you put that motivation, panigurado yan, it will go a long way. Yung direction, yung focus, and yung attention mo sa trabaho mo, nandun parate. Dahil katapos ng trabaho, tatanungin mo yung sarili mo, is this something that contributes to my goal and my aspirations? So sa akin yun lang. I mean, focus on your motivation, who do you work for, and just go for it.
Thank you so much, Sir Joey. You talking right now reminded me of one event. Kwento ko mamaya. Shane, meron kang i-share?
Just like what I've said kanina, find your why, diba? And your purpose. And for someone na magsa-start pa lang sa career, ayun, be confident. I don't know if I can advise this, pero 'di ba there's a saying, fake it till you make it. Minsan totoo 'yun eh, 'di ba? Hanggang sa ma-learn mo na yung habit and yung best practices on the path that you chose, on the career that you chose. Tsaka wala na kahit maka-receive siguro pa tayo ng mga advice from different people. Syempre at the end of the day, ang pinapakinggan lang ng puso natin is yung kung anong sinasabi ng kalooban natin. So tayo pa rin magde-decide nun. Take one day at a time.
Right.
Don't overthink.
Oo, may revolution na yung fake it till you make it ngayon eh. Hindi na siya fake it till you make it. May versions na siya. So, make it till you make it.
Ayun.
May mga ganyan na. And also, sabi ni Sir Joey kanina, you have to find your motivators. I remember one time, there was a really difficult conversation that I cannot have with a leader. So, I had to tap on Sir Joey's wisdom. So, tinawagan ako ni Sir Joey. Nagpapanik siya kasi ganun siya eh sa aming mga empleyado niya. So, tinawagan niya ako. And I would talk as usual. I am very talkative. I would talk, telling him kung gaano ka-oppressed yung feeling ko dun sa conversation na yun. Natulungan mo ako, Sir Joey, ikaw ang mag-call out neto. And Sir Joey was so quiet and he just stopped. And he told me na, bakit hindi ikaw? So, ganyan ang break the bias sa amin. Siyempre, napa-step back ako. Pag si Joey kausap mo, dapat kasi may sagot ka agad. That time, I had to step back. O nga, no, bakit ko in-escalate? Hindi ba ako ganun katapang? Or am I not backed with data or facts so that I can face it? That is an unconscious bias to myself. Lalo na lalaki yung leader na ine-escalate ko kay Sir Joey. That's an example. Ngayon ko lang na-realize. And also to Ruru, an advice to young women who are waiting for their breakthroughs. Don't wait for breakthroughs. Breakthroughs don't happen because you wait for them. You make them.
Exactly.
You make them. You
Yeah.
make it happen on a daily basis. And when people tell you or when you get inspired, it looks beautiful, but it's all because of hard work. Behind it is hard work. At sa likod ng mga babae, dalawa lagi ang trabaho. Yung pinag-uusapan namin kanina sa backstage, ay, ito pala yung backstage. Just shout out. yung pinag-uusapan namin kanina, ang babae, you have to do the job. And your second job is to prove people wrong. Prove yourself to people. So, laging dalawa ang trabaho ng kababaihan.
And siguro just to add, siguro yung example kay Shane, don't worry to share. Don't worry to share your knowledge, your skill to someone else. Don't worry that you are mentoring someone who could be better than you, right? Ang importante is you teach them. Pag nag-grow sila, it's your trophy, right? And the more that you help other people, the more you grow.
Right? At ikaw din ang nagsabi sa akin neto, Sir Joey, na kapag nag-share ka or nag-give away ka ng natutunan mo, kung totoong magaling at creative ka and innovative ka, you will do better next time. So naipasa mo na yung nagawa mo noon and you're creating a new one now. Kasi creators tayo. Okay, meron pa yata.
Oh, can I add to that?
Yes, Ayn. Direct, meron pa rin
Sorry,
si Ayn.
I
Go.
really just wanted to add to that because as somebody who has waited for a breakthrough forever, kasi I also started young. I started interning, getting side hustles, mga part-time jobs. Alam nyo naman, ang buhay ng raketera.
Correct.
So I was always waiting for my breakthrough, and I think the key is preparation. it's always, when no one is looking, do the work, prepare, learn the skills. And throughout the years, I've been doing that on YouTube, on TikTok, sa mga, before I would shoot, ako yung nag-a-assist, ako tagahawak, ako I worked at magazines, ako yung nag-ahanap ng kape, ako yung nag-order ng kape, ganyan. And then when I came to the set today, honestly, like, I just want to thank you guys because I was so happy because my door had my name on it. Sabi ko, oh my
Breakthrough
gosh.
mo din to.
Sabi ko, may pangalan yung door ko. I was so happy because really that's like, I mean, yung breakthrough ko happened during the pandemic. So it's been like online everything. So now to be on the set with you guys and seeing my name on the door, I'm like, I'm having a breakthrough moment right now. And thank you guys. Kasi parang to me, that was just like representative of all the work that I've done backstage, helping other people.
Correct.
And now I get to be here with you guys. And parang it happens. You prepare, you practice, and when the opportunity presents itself, you can go and grab it.
Oo. And as a trainer, educator ka din, practice makes permanent. You don't make perfect out of that. It makes permanent. Also, failing to prepare is preparing to fail.
Back, yes.
Correct, di ba? Ang daming sayings. Next question tayo. Okay, what would you advise the female introverts out there? Ang ganda nito, Selenina.
Hi, do we have an introvert in the house?
Ako.
Talaga?
Nako, number one, magno-no si boss dyan. Go. Sino ba?
I'll try to answer.
Yes.
Ako, to be honest, I'm an introvert. Throughout my career, I've been in the BPO industry for about 20 years na. Imagine, I was already a manager way back then. Manager na to, I've handled siguro a couple of hundred of employees. One thing that my superior told me is that go out of your room. Maglakad ka, meet and talk to people. Imagine, that time manager na ako, nagtatago pa rin ako sa room. Right? Siguro ang advice ko lang is just be true to yourself. Right? And be authentic and have that intent, again, to help the people below. Sa akin, once you have that, you practice that, magiging natural yung magiging outgoing mo. Right?
Wow. Mm-mm. At ako personally, I don't look at leaders who according if they are extroverted or introverted. Parang hindi siya nagba-matter. So if you are conscious about that, kung ikaw ay hindi outspoken, don't think of it as the standard or the single character of a leader. No, hindi kailangan introverted or extroverted ang leader. Balik tayo sa punto ng why, ng motivation na sinasabi nila Sir Joey kanina. That's what matters. Also, may bias din sa introverts and extroverts eh. Kapag babae ka at extroverted ka, hindi ka assertive, aggressive ang tawag sa'yo. Bossy and all that. But if Sir Joey sounds like that, he's not called bossy or he's not called aggressive. May mga ganyan pang topics na baka bukas na tayo abutin kung pag-uusapan pa natin ngayon. Pero let's just go back to our core and be simple, no? Be yourself and surround yourself with the right people. Again, ang coaching sa atin kanina, filter out natin yung mga hindi nagmamatter. We can only control so much. And of course, may question pa rin. In your view, Sir Joey, what difference does it make in the workplace? Ay, naku, gusto ko to. When a woman feels empowered or appreciated, gaano kasasaya or kasasarap or kagugulo ang mga conversations at meetings mo? Is there any pervasive impact on her output if she's appreciated?
Well, siguro overall, no, yung term na empowerment, very powerful. Right? Because that creates a huge output, right? Because if you don't empower someone and you micromanage, walang mangyayari eh, right? And that's how we grew our business. That's how we keep on growing our business because we empower, right? So empowering women, in my view, has a big ripple effect in our organization, as I said, right? When we give women control over their careers, their life choices, when we encourage and support them, when we rally behind them, we not only improve their lives, but also improve the lives around them and the company that they work for. Doing this also in breaking the biases on women that we have unconsciously inherited from previous generations. And collectively, we can create a kinder and a more equal society, I would say.
Right. And ladies and gentlemen, it is a long journey. Okay? Pero hindi imposible. Tama. Marami na tayong nagawa. And an example is in RingCentral. Wala naman yung ganyang mga hindi uso sa mga kumpanya ang ganyang mga benepisyo noon, mga task human and support for women. The events that we used to have were parties where people dress, but now the events that we celebrate are talks on gender, talks on women, talks on being allies to women, supporting women. Ako, napakaswerte ko kasi pinadalhan kami ng tamang tools ng RingCentral na nakakapagpalit ng diaper yung partner ko habang naka-cordless siyang Plantronics. Napakaganda. At nakakapag-switch device kami. Yan ang favorite feature namin sa RingCentral application. You should discover it. Mamaya, tuturo ko sa'yo. Kapag naka-meeting ka sa laptop at umiyak ang bata, change diaper, switch up tayo, cordless headset. And I am helped by my allies at home. My partner does it while he's in a meeting. And ako natutulog because that's what we need. And women, like everybody else, needs rest and recovery. And that's how we can empower each other. No, magpasimple tayo. Let's go back to kindness, just like what Sir Joey said. Let's go back to our whys, just like what Shane said. And let's manage our self-talk, just like what Ayn said. Thank you so much for your thoughtful discussions and exchange of conversations. Nabibitin ako sa discourse, Miss Ayn, Sir Joey, and Shane. Any parting messages for our audience today? Let's begin with Sir Joey.
Yeah, for me, Women's Month is not only for women and not only for this month. We all have the opportunity to support and empower women, whether in the workplace or at home. I myself, a married man, kwento ko lang, no? Been married for 14 years. I've known my partner for 5 years prior to our marriage. So almost 20 years na kami magkakilala. No? So siguro, share ko na lang din, right? So when I started my career, nandiyan na siya. Right? So siya yung talagang kasama ko when I am up or down. And most importantly, nandyan siya parate, keeping me grounded, right? And I've been so blessed to marry an amazing and loving woman in Elaine. She's my equal, she's my life partner, and my inspiration, right? And I promise to raise my 2 boys, supporting, respecting, and celebrating women everywhere. And I challenge every man to do the same.
Sana nanonood yung
Nandito
boyfriend
po
ko.
siya ngayon. Please kaming charot.
Sana po.
Nadala na
Makinig
ako.
ka.
Paano naman ako magre-recover dyan, Sir Joey? Hi, Miss Elaine. Congratulations sa bago niyong milestone in
And just to
life.
add, interesting
Oo.
fact lang. Kasi ako medyo tinotolerate ko yung 2 kids. She's the leader in the family.
Love.
Hindi na tinotolerate yung mga bagay-bagay. Pagka nakita niyang tinotolerate niya yan, nakataras na yung kilay niya sa akin. And okay, she's reminding me that, yeah, we are doing this for our kids. Right? So again, getting me grounded, it really helped. And yung partnership namin together works wonderfully.
That's so nice to hear.
It's so nice to hear.
She's the leader in our family.
Correct.
Nakaka, lang, wow.
Congratulations sa bago niyong milestone, Sir Joey. Dahil leader in the family si Miss Elaine, meron talaga siyang malaking-malaking regalo, no? Congrats, sir. And ikaw naman, Shane, what are your advices to women at this point, no, as your parting message?
I'll just make it simple siguro. Focus only on what you can control. And yung sabi ni Ayn kanina, surround yourself with people who will help and support you and encourage and lift each other up.
Wow. Thank you so much, Shane. And thank you for your chika din kanina. And that's reality, people. You know, these things are unconscious to us. Kahit yung mga chika ni Shane kanina, totoo yan. Well, ikaw naman, Ayn, you always give the best sound bites when it comes to women empowerment. You want to drop one for our audience tonight?
Okay, to all of the women listening right now, I hope that you allow yourself to push back dun sa mga limiting beliefs natin. And if you don't see what you want to see, I hope you allow yourself to ask, why can't I be the first? Why can't I do this? And so that you can show up for yourself and for everybody around you, and you can go beyond what is expected from you and expected of you. So I hope you allow yourself to try today, tomorrow,
Right.
and every single day.
Don't wait for your breakthrough now. Allow
Yes,
yourself to
make
try.
it.
Make it. Thank you so much, Miss Ayn, for joining us today. Once again, thank you so much to all of our panelists, Sir Joey, Shane, Ayn. It's such a pleasure looking out and rooting for you, no? Lalo na sabi ng mga nila Brené Brown, lean in, get involved, right? Try, sabi ni Ayn today. And thank you so much for the inspirational messages today. Once again, thank you so much for spending this evening with us. This is very personal to me and to a lot of women who are watching us tonight. Thank you to RingCentral for giving us an opportunity to commemorate International Women's Month, not only today, but every day. For those of you who want to further your career, RingCentral is also hiring. You can check the website ringcentralmnlcareers.com. That's on screen, ringcentralmnlcareers.com. Our moderators will also be typing in the chat box the employment lead form, which you can copy paste into your browser should you be interested to pursue a position in RingCentral. Pag di nyo yun nakuha, the Instagram of RingCentral will also be open for your questions. And with this, we finally end the program. To our allies, as with anything, action is needed to help level the playing field for women. And to my fellow women, let us not allow labels to define us. We should also be supportive of other women. We can do whatever we want to do, be whoever we want to be. Let us challenge the status quo, and together, let's stand strong and proud and break the bias. Good evening, everyone, and enjoy the rest of your night.